3 little-known facts about the past relationships of WWE star Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is currently one of the most successful women in the entire wrestling profession. "I was very lonely at that time," she said. Although Ripley's on-screen persona is quite dynamic, her off-screen, real-life behavior seems to be similar to it. The former women's world champion is a dominant character who also stands by her friends, winning her the affection of the WWE Universe and making her one of the company's biggest faces. It is clear from her interviews that the celebrity is also quite helpful to everyone in real life. Few people are aware of Ripley's real-life secrets, particularly those pertaining to her previous relationships. Let's examine a few of her secrets. One of the earliest interactions the former women's world champion had as a teenager was with Dane Davies, a former Riot City wrestling star. The couple were childhood friends, and back in 2014, Ripley announced that she was in a relationship with a star. In an Instagram post, Ripley revealed that she had snubbed Davies for years before beginning a romantic relationship with him, stating that he completely turned her life around. "I miss this guy more and more every day. I don't know where my life would be without him, and hell, I don't want to know. Year after year for 6+ years straight, he has lifted my spirits each time I have fallen. He has always been there for me, and I couldn't ask for a better best friend that I can now call mine. I love you, Davies, and I hope this post can cheer you up," she wrote. Rhea Ripley was once in a romantic relationship with another fellow Riot City wrestling star, Jet Armstrong, who is around 10 years older than the former women's champion. The Eradicator shared numerous pictures of the couple together on her social media, getting love from her fans. However, the relationship lasted just a few months before Ripley stopped sharing any pictures, seemingly marking the end. While Ripley didn't address him much on social media, her relationship with the wrestler was quite evident from the pictures right before she started dating AEW star Buddy Matthews. Rhea Ripley was in a relationship with independent wrestler Dimitri Jackson. Back in 2019, the couple announced that they were in a relationship, starting from a random meeting at the gym. When every guy she met at the gym became her friend, Ripley later admitted that she was feeling quite lonely. Dimitri was a new guy at the gym, and they soon became friends. "Well, the gym is where we first met. He had been wrestling for 2 months, but I believe he was aware that I was a wrestler. At my gym, he was the new man. At the moment, I felt incredibly alone. I didn't want to go home because there wasn't much there for me, so I befriended every employee at my gym." Buddy Matthews, a former WWE superstar, is currently Rhea Ripley's husband. But WWE superstar Liv Morgan recently took to social media to post about her massive accolade in professional wrestling. The Judgment Day star is currently absent from in-ring competition due to an injury. Liv Morgan last competed inside the Squared Circle on the June 16, 2025, edition of Raw, where she locked horns with Kairi Sane in a singles match. The bout ended abruptly after Morgan suffered an unfortunate shoulder injury. According to reports, the former WWE Women's World Champion might be out of action for several months. Amid her absence from WWE television, Liv took to X, FK Twitter, to post a photo of her 2025 Female Superstar of the Year Slammy Award. This accolade was given to her during this year's Slammy Awards, which took place during the WrestleMania 41 weekend. With this post, Morgan has dropped a huge reminder to her fans and opponents that she was one of the biggest names on the roster despite her injury absence during a recent edition of Bro-Down on Sportskeeda WrestleBinge. Vince Russo said that he believed the Triple H-led creative team keeps stars off WWE television because they want to receive a massive pop whenever someone returns from injury. Russo highlighted that the company has done it with Bianca Belair and is now doing it with Gunther and Liv Morgan. Why, when a wrestler gets a boo-boo, are they taken off the show? And now that Gunther is injured and will no longer be on the show, I've finally figured it out. They know that's another pop in their back pocket, so I eventually figured it out. They knew they got a pop when Bianca Belair returns. They received a pop when Liv Morgan returned. They got a pop when Gunther returned. So, in order to align with what's popular in September, they completely removed them from television. What is the October pop? Said Russo. But The most talked about match of the evening was Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship at SummerSlam 2024, and the lights inside the crowded arena blazed bright as the sold-out audience yelled with expectation. Rhea Ripley, the Eradicator, came down the ramp first, her trademark dark aura filling the air, her piercing glare locked onto the ring, holding the women's world title high, reminding everyone that she was not just a champion, she was a dominant force, almost untouchable in her reign. The crowd erupted in a mix of cheers and jeers as the leader of Judgment Day stepped between the ropes, looking ready to crush anyone in her path. The atmosphere inside the stadium was electric, with fans waving signs and chanting their favorite names, and the tension was unlike anything that had ever been seen before. She was not intimidated. Tonight was her night to demonstrate that heart and passion could triumph over power and dominance. Liv Morgan then arrived, her entrance theme blasting through the speakers and the crowd exploding with excitement. Clad in her signature edgy gear, she pointed to the audience, feeding off their energy as cries of "Let's go Liv" reverberated throughout the arena. The war started when the bell rung. The crowd roared louder with each move, supporting Liv's tenacity. Rhea immediately displayed her power, throwing Liv across the ring like a rag doll. Every blow and slam from the champion sent a message that this was her world, shaking the ring. Liv, however, refused to stay down, using her speed and agility to dodge under Rhea's swings and deliver sharp kicks and drop kicks that stunned the champion. Rhea's face twisted with rage. She wasn't used to anyone escape her hands like that, but Liv countered, rolling Rhea into a surprising near-fall that had the entire arena on their feet. Rhea almost terminated the bout with a devastating riptide halfway through. Liv threw herself from the top rope and crashed into Rhea with reckless abandon, demonstrating that she would do anything for this title, but the champion's raw strength kept turning the tide, and each time Liv made a comeback, Rhea retaliated brutally. The two fought outside the ring, smashing each other against the barricade. The crowd went wild as Liv, battered and barely standing at the end of the match, was lifted by Rhea for the riptide, but in a stunning reversal, she countered into a codebreaker. She climbed the ropes, her body shaking from exhaustion, and launched into her Oblivion finisher, perfectly connecting, hooking Rhea's leg. 1, 2. Rhea was expelled. With a look of incredulity on their faces, the crowd gasped. Liv sat on the mat, holding her head tightly, tears on the verge of welling. What else could she do? Rhea slowly stood up, ready to put an end to it once and for all, but Liv suddenly ducked a clothesline, bounced back from the ropes, and landed a second Oblivion. She fell into Rhea for cover. 1, 2, 3. She pinned Rhea Ripley and became the new Women's World Champion at SummerSlam 2024 as the bell rang and the arena burst like never before. Fans screamed with delight, fireworks blasted, and Liv rolled onto her knees, hugging the trophy close to her chest while tears streamed down her face. Rhea was defeated cleanly in the middle of the ring for the first time in a long time, and she sat startled in the corner, her face displaying anger and dismay. SummerSlam 2024 will always be remembered as the night Liv Morgan's dream came true, the night she defeated the Eradicator and showed the world that heart and passion could defeat even the greatest of champions. Liv stood tall on the turnbuckle, raising the championship high as cries of "You deserve it" filled the arena. But Liv Morgan vs. Rhea Ripley Women's World Title Match, Raw on Netflix premiere. Full match story. Nothing had fans more excited than the main event, Liv Morgan vs. Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. The entire WWE Universe had been buzzing for weeks, and Monday Night Raw's Netflix premiere was being billed as the start of a new era, complete with a larger production, flashier entrances, and higher stakes. Liv Morgan, dressed in sleek new gear, black and silver with neon streaks, carried herself with a newfound confidence as the arena lights dimmed and the crowd roared when her music played first. Since her injury return, Liv had been on a mission to prove she belonged at the very top of the women's division. She ran to the ring, slapping fans' hands, her energy electric. Liv knew the odds were stacked against her, but tonight, she wanted to shock the world. The stadium shook as Mommy walked through the smoke, championship belt over her shoulder, her piercing gaze fixed on Liv. The black leather jacket, the heavy chains, and the aura of dominance sent shivers down the spine of the crowd. "This is Mommy's show," she declared, holding the belt high as the fans cheered and jeered. Rhea Ripley had been untouchable for months, but Liv was the one challenger who resisted giving up. The game starts. The crowd gasped at the sheer power difference as Rhea smirked and taunted Liv. The bell rang, and the intensity was instantaneous. Rhea used her strength early, throwing Liv across the ring like a ragdoll. Liv attempted to use her speed, avoiding Ripley's clothesline and countering with a springboard dropkick that barely moved the champion. Rhea snarled, "Come on, Liv. You think you're ready for me?" The spectators erupted as Liv pushed herself over the top rope, smashing into the champion with a suicide dive, and Ripley appeared shaken for the first time as she retaliated with a succession of forearms, a step-up enziguri, and a hurricane rana that sent her flying to the outside. Drama and back and forth. The referee counted, but Liv kicked out at 2. Rhea recovered control by throwing Liv's spine first into the barricade, then rolling her into the ring for a vicious stalling suplex that demonstrated her strength, holding Liv in the air for almost 10 seconds before landing her on the ground. Every time Rhea attempted to put Liv away, whether it was with a massive boot, a power bomb, or her nasty headbutts, Liv managed to survive by clawing, scratching, and countering at every opportunity, proving to everyone why her fans adored her underdog attitude. Her tenacity became the night's main narrative. The spectators thought for a moment that Liv had surprised the world as she nearly pulled off the upset halfway through the match, countering a riptide attempt into a crucifix pin. 1, 2. Rhea barely kicked out. The arena rocked. The crowd erupted when Liv hooked the leg. 1, 2. But Rhea got her foot on the rope. Liv's expression told the story. She was this close. When the battle continued, both women were worn out. Rhea geared up for another riptide, but Liv wriggled away and unexpectedly nailed oblivion. Rhea covered. 1, 2, 3. Liv, frustrated but persevering, ascended the ropes for a high-risk move, launching herself with a crossbody, but Rhea caught her midair, whirled her around, and hit her with a devastating riptide in the middle of the ring. When the bell rang, the audience erupted in conflicting emotions. Rhea Ripley was able to keep the Women's World Championship, but everyone in attendance respected Liv Morgan because she had challenged Rhea to her limits in the first-ever Raw main event on Netflix. Rhea looked down at Liv with something unusual, respect, as she celebrated, holding her championship high and mouthed, "You did good, Liv," before exiting the ring. Liv sat in the middle, fatigued but wearing a slight smile, knowing that she had just given her best performance to date. "If this is what Raw on Netflix looks like, the future is bright," exclaimed commentators. Suddenly, the rivalry between Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan had emerged as one of the key narratives of this new age. But intense, chaotic, and completely unpredictable, the weeks leading up to WWE Bad Blood 2024 were centered around the ongoing rivalry between the fierce and powerful force of the Judgment Day, the current Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley, and the tough, fearless challenger Liv Morgan, who had fought her way back into title contention following months of setbacks. When Rhea Ripley triumphed in a fierce battle to defend her title the night after WrestleMania XL, Liv Morgan made an unexpected comeback, walking to the ring with a ferocity in her eyes that the WWE Universe had not seen in a long time. Liv then grabbed the microphone and proclaimed, "I'm not here to play games, Rhea. You've had enough of your reign of terror. But just like you tried to break me last year, I'm going to break you at Bad Blood." For the first time in months, Ripley appeared a little shaken as the audience surged. The Chaos Road tension between the two ladies erupted into physical altercations, ambushes, and jaw-dropping incidents on Monday Night Raw over the course of the following few weeks. Rhea made fun of Liv's size and prior mistakes when she approached her backstage in one show, but Liv didn't bat an eye. Instead, she slapped Ripley across the face and started a fight that officials had to break up. Following a difficult match in which Liv defeated Zoe Stark the following week, Rhea stormed the ring and delivered a devastating riptide to send a message. The crowd roared as Morgan stood tall for the first time in months, holding up Ripley's championship as if it were already hers. Then came one of the most shocking moments on Raw. During a Judgment Day celebration, Liv posed as a member of the crowd, leaped the barricade, and attacked Rhea with a steel chair. Fans watched as Liv's resolve grew stronger each week while Rhea's merciless, cold authority went unchallenged as WWE promoted their impending battle with a unique Road to Bad Blood 2024 playlist, which documented every brutal encounter, promo, and stunning event. The clips displayed, "I'm no longer scared of you, Rhea," Liv yells. "You'll always be second best, Liv," Ripley sneers, adding, "and I'll end you for good at Bad Blood." Split-screen video of their vicious fights, their best moments from previous bouts, and their tearful interviews in which both ladies vowed to leave it all in the ring. There was a menacing voiceover as the playlist concluded. 2 females. 1 title. Only one will make it through the storm at Bad Blood. Mayhem at contract signing. Ripley flipped the table and attempted to slam Liv through it, but Liv countered with a shocking codebreaker that left the champion stunned. For the first time in months, Ripley was flat on her back, and Liv stood tall over her, holding the contract high in the air. The official contract signing for their match was pure carnage. What was supposed to be a tense face-to-face turned into an all-out war. General Manager Adam Pearce prohibited both women from making physical contact on the final Raw before Bad Blood, so they instead fought a vicious verbal battle. "Tear Liv apart limb by limb and make her regret ever stepping back into my world," Rhea vowed. "I'm done being ignored. I'm done being the underdog." At Bad Blood, "Rhea, your reign ends and mine begins," Liv retorted with equal venom. "Liv, live," LIV, was chanted by the electrified audience as Ripley stared angrily and held her title aloft. The Road to Bad Blood 2024 had developed into one of the most intense rivalries in women's wrestling history, and the WWE Universe couldn't wait because the story was personal and the hatred was genuine. WWE's YouTube account flashed the last words as the playlist came to an end. "Who will bleed and who will rise in Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan? Bad Blood 2024? Greetings, lovely viewers. My name is Lima. I hope you are having a great day. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoy the video.